is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's Filthiest Pitches of the Day. Remember, before we get to those pitches, hit that subscribe button. Do it right now. Be a part of the biggest and best daily baseball show on YouTube. And now, without further ado, here are my filthiest pitches of the day. I'm going to start with Javier Assad, who had these sinkers and sliders. I don't know why, but he kind of reminds me of Nate from Ted Lasso with glasses. He had 3 Ks in 3 innings. He did give up 2 runs. Strahm had these elevated 2-seamers and slider. He had 3 Ks in 3 2/3 innings. He was up against Kodai Senga, who had 4 Ks in 5 innings. He did give up 4 runs, but I thought he pitched better than that. He had this ghost fork that only had 792 RPMs. Not that much more than a knuckleball. You could see his grip and the spin of the baseball in this slowed down. His upper 90s fastball was also electric, getting Ks on fastballs of 97 and 98 miles an hour. And I did this overlay of Senga's fastball and his ghost fork, and you can see how much that ghost fork dropped due to its low spin rate and its gyro spin axis. The ghost fork kind of looks like it's going to be a fastball in the middle of the zone, and then dives to the dirt much lower than that low 97 mile an hour fastball. So you can see the problems that gives hitters. Michael Wacha had this fastball and changeup. He had 3 Ks, but did give up 5 runs. He faced off against Ryan Nelson, who had these cutters and fastball on his way to 4 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 4 runs. He also had this walkus interruptus on Juan Soto. It would have been hilarious if no one told Soto it was a strike and just let him go all the way to first and hang out there for a while. You know, running the bases and his run doesn't count. Nestor Cortes had his fastball and cutter working. He had 7 strikeouts in 6 innings, gave up 3 runs on only 4 hits. He got a sword on this fastball on Mike Trout. And if you were wondering why he's able to sneak his fastball by hitters, here's an overlay of his fastball and cutter. And you see how those pitches kind of work together. As a hitter, you're basically guessing, is this a fastball or cutter? And if you guess wrong, you're either swinging under the fastball or over the cutter. Also, in a battle of peak male athletes, Nestor made this amazing basket catch on Shohei Ohtani. Okay, maybe it wasn't that amazing. Nasty Nestor outdueled Patrick Sandoval, who had this changeup and had 5 Ks, but did give up 5 runs in 4 innings. Roansy Contreras had 8 Ks in 6 2/3 innings, giving up only 1 run, and really relied on his combination of fastballs and sliders. Here's a slider from a home plate view, and you can see why that might be tough to hit. And here's a couple of overlays that show how his fastball and slider work together. He tunneled it with both elevated fastballs and fastballs at the knees, getting swings at sliders in the dirt. And his ability to tunnel that fastball and slider shows you why he can be so effective, just even using those 2 pitches. He faced off against Luke Weaver, who started out pretty slow, giving up 4 runs in the first, but ended up with 8 Ks over 6 innings. Matt Strahm may have had the most electric outing yesterday, with 11 Ks in 5 1/3 innings, giving up only 3 hits. He did give up 3 runs, but was pretty nasty. He relied on a filthy combination of fastballs and curveballs, and there's definitely something about his mechanics and approach angle to the plate that makes his stuff play up. He battled Ryan Feltner, who had 6 Ks in 5 2/3 scoreless innings. He had these changeups, this 2-seamer that ran 16 inches, and elevated curveball. Kenta Maeda got injured on this 111 mile an hour comebacker to the ankle, but made the play, even though he had to leave the game right after. Luckily, x-rays were negative, because my ankle hurts just looking at this. He was outdueled by Tanner Houck, who had my filthiest pitch from a starter yesterday. Check out this slider where he gets the swing and miss on a ball that hits the hitter. And this wasn't even on strike 3. To me, the at-bat should be over. If you get hit by a ball that you swing and miss on, you should be out automatically. Another Pitching Ninja pace of play rule. Houck's slider was disgusting overall yesterday. It's basically like they cloned Chris Sale and made him a righty. And here's an overlay of a right-handed Chris Sale with Tanner Houck. They're more identical than identical twins, Taylor and Tyler Rogers, who throw at opposite hands but also have way different arm slots. Houck also had these splitters and 2-seamer, and here's an overlay of his slider and splitter that shows you how dirty that combination can be. Now on to my filthiest relievers. Josh Hader had this 97 mile an hour gas. Adbert Alzolay had this slider. Brandon Hughes K'd the side and got fired up. Connor Brogdon K'd the side with this clock violation, fastball, and changeup. I always like throwing those clock violations in there, just because it gets people pissed off. David Bednar had this nasty curveball. Colin Holderman had this slider and got the hold. He should really change his name to Colin Saverman if he wants to be a closer. Yes, can you believe it? These dad jokes are free. And all you have to do to never miss them is hit subscribe. Not so sure that's a great sales pitch, sorry. Anyway, Brusar Graterol had this sick stuff with his 99-mile-an-hour two-seamers, 97-mile-an-hour cutter, and these sliders. Luis Ortiz had this slider. Pierce Johnson had this curveball. Steven Wilson had these wicked sweepers. But my filthiest reliever yesterday was Justin Lawrence. Oh my God, this stuff is disgusting. He had this poop-inducing sweeper. You think you're going to wear an upper 90s two-seamer, and instead you get this. It's like the ball has air brakes. And check out this sweeper show. If sweepers were fireworks, this would be the 4th of July. Hitting Lawrence's sweeper is like trying to catch a golden snitch in Harry Potter. These are absolutely ridiculous. They're breaking up to 20 inches at almost 3,200 RPMs. And from that arm slot. And he doesn't just rely on these ridiculous sweepers, he also threw nasty two-seamers that ran up to 21 inches the other way. Here's an overlay of Justin Lawrence's two-seamer and slider. And look how far apart these pitches end up after being in the same spot. When Justin Lawrence is on, his stuff is incredible. And just because you're part of Ninja Nation, here is Justin Lawrence's sweeper grip from my interview with him.
So I'm right on the horseshoe.
Okay.
So if like you have the two seams like this, my fastball there, I'm just right over off the horseshoe on that side. Just right where the finger curves on that horseshoe. Right there. And then I get the two flat surfaces of the ball on the top and the bottom that's where I think it kind of goes, and then kind of air, the gravity, the air just takes it.
And now my pitching ninja moment of zen. What could be more zen than Cody Bellinger hitting a 420-foot home run on 420? As you may or may not have known, Bellinger has what I like to call resting stone face.
Do people tell you you're high all the time? You look like you're high?
Hey, he froze at the perfect time. Can y'all hear me?
Oh, this is the perfect time for him to freeze.
What is up, everybody? My picks of the day today are a three-leg parlay. I'm going to start out with Zach Gallen for 6 Ks or more, then take Aaron Nola for 7 Ks or more, and top it off with Shohei Ohtani for 8 Ks or more. What would your picks of the day be?